And we'll see if he can continue like Rain,
Oh.
or if he is more of a zest. Anyway, here we are now, kicking off our best of 5 grand finals, where we're here on Oceanborn, where over here in the top left corner map, starting all the way in the top left, we of course have our red Protoss player coming out from the land of Korea. He is of course going to be representing Twisted Minds, our reigning ESL Open Cup Asia, and I believe KSL as well, champion. We have Classic.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Chinese Terran player, the blue Terran representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is Oliveira. Oliveira having a very intense series earlier with Trap. That semifinals match is definitely something to live up to. So there's a lot of expectations here between these two players, but Classic has a very different approach than Trap does in this matchup, I would say.
Yeah, I feel like Trap is a little bit more, well, usually I would say Trap is a little bit more of a defensive player. He is kind of on that stats axis in the Protoss alignment chart, but he did show off a lot of aggressive plays in his series against Oliveira. He went for that offensive blink, that aggressive blink in Alcyone. He did do something similar in Site Delta and then waited for the counterattack. Wasn't quite able to hold there, but even still, that's kind of Trap's style. Classic, on the other hand, is not that deep in. He's a bit more neutral, I would say. Maybe a little bit more on the zest side of the alignment, where he has a lot of variety and he has a lot of timings that he... A variety of different timings in the early game, the mid game, some in the late game, to just try to cripple his opponent's economy at the very least.
Yeah, and we'll see what we go for this time, because both players are doing some interesting builds. For the first time today, it is not a Twilight Council, it's a Stargate opener out of Classic, so Stargate, I imagine, into Phoenixes. We'll see if he goes Oracle instead, and something more aggressive. Meanwhile, from the side of Oliveira, we have not just one, we have two, we have 3 Raxes.
Okay. Very different from what we saw when he was up against Trap. And this is a bit more of a committed 3 racks as well.
Here we go, as it is going to be that 3 racks here from Oliveira, building up towards Stim, and it is going to be an Oracle first. So winding it back a little bit here, 3 racks are ideal against Stargate openers, just because Phoenixes and Oracles, they can struggle against Mass Bio and Mass Marine. So this is already looking a little bit better for Oliveira. Reaper goes in, and Oliveira does confirm the tech of choice.
Yeah, heaving a sigh of relief. I'm sure he's glad that he's up against the Stargate coming his way. We'll keep our eye on Classic's production tab to see how much he commits to these Oracles. I think it's pretty standard to go 2 even in PvT.
Yeah, the first Oracle is about 12 pounds. Bearing in mind that Oliveira, he also confirmed the Oracle as well, the Oracle coming out. So Oliveira, he's going to be amassing Marines and getting ready for that Oracle aggression. Likewise, going to be Oracle into Phoenix. And again, I'm getting more and more concerned for Classic here when it comes to how much and what he will have to defend against the Bio Army.
Exactly. He doesn't know.
Not yet. The Oracle will give him that valuable information. We do see Oliveira's ready at the natural. The main base is more exposed though, and Classic here will be heading in between the bases. We'll find some SCVs, but not too much.
Yeah, I mean, delays the factory, so that's pretty nice. Is able to take out a couple of Marines, takes out another SCV, and will he keep it alive? He will keep his Oracle alive, so yeah, not too bad. The most important thing here, the most valuable thing here for Classic, of course, is that he scouted a 3 rack, so immediately he halts Stargate production. He starts Immortal production.
Yeah, I mean, we need Immortals, right? Like, right now, in this current game state, we need as much of an army as possible. The first Immortal is on the way. That will help. We have a Shield Battery in production as well. 2 Shield Batteries even. Again, we need as much as we can here to hold on against that Bio Army.
Indeed, we do. I was a little worried when I saw the 3rd Nexus on the way, but I think the math checks out. I think it should finish in time. by the time the push comes down, and of course that will mean that these shield batteries will have overcharge on them as well.
And what's interesting is that because of this Oracle, because it's still alive, Oliveira is actually stuck at home. Stim is done, he misses his timing, he would have already been across the map, and he has to wait a little bit longer until he's secure, and there we go, now we're pushing out as turrets are thrown down.
Indeed, he is. No stasis wards on the map right now here for Classic. He feels that he doesn't need to rely on them.
Yeah, meanwhile, Oracle does slip in, gets one more SCV, but isn't going to get much more than that. The Oracle will barely escape, but we're focusing across the map. Here we go, Oliveira moving in with how much? With 22 Marines, 2 Marauders, and can we break this setup of shield batteries?
Well, we're going to have to try, at the very least. Classic keeping tabs on this army with these 2 Phoenixes.
Yeah, it does keep tabs, and Oliveira waiting for reinforcements. Medevacs are on the way. With all these medevacs, we can sustain our push a little bit longer. We can also try to drop into the main, but Classic is defending quite well. I mean, taking this very seriously.
He's putting this out very, very patient. He already has his setup up and running with all the shield batteries and whatnot. Colossus, the first Colossus is going to be out, and that's going to make it a lot trickier for Oliveira to try to push into this.
Yeah, with the arrival of the first Colossus, we defend. Classic, he has held Oliveira. If he wanted to hit a timing, he has missed it, and it looks like we're setting up for a longer game. We have a third CC on the way, on location. Oliveira is going to be working on that next step.
That is one Oracle. It's the absolute MVP in this game.
It really is. The Oracle did so much, just scouting and, of course, just keeping Oliveira at bay. And with that, Classic, he holds. He takes advantage of his third base, working towards a fourth as well, and the game will continue.
Indeed it shall. Oracle still bobbing around. He knows it's not his job. It's just having fun though. It's retiring in a circle.
Here we go. So yeah, we do rotate, we do deny the fourth base. We have our bio army, of course, just keeping tabs here on a Classic, just maintaining map control more than anything while we're building up. Our Viking production has begun. At the same time, Classic building up towards further splash damage, has Colossus, and now working towards Storm with that Templar Archives.
Yeah, Classic about to hit his final form here in PvT. Oliveira, though, he is ramping up to get to the stage of the game where he really does thrive. Where the mid-game, where he can just go and be active on the map, deny a fourth base over and over and over again like so, and just try to starve out his Protoss opponents. Classic will be in a position where he can try to break out from this pretty soon once he gets a couple of High Templar up and running, but until then, he is in quite a precarious position economically.
Yeah, Classic, he wants to expand, desperately needs to. Storm is now on the way. We have a Prism poised to get across the map. Oliveira is still just trying to threaten the fourth, and with this Marine Scout, we'll confirm that it is being taken on the right-hand side.
Like so.
And you can see Oliveira immediately responded to that expansion. Meanwhile, in the main base, we do have 2 Widow Mines, but the Prism does avoid the main. Up!
And instead, we will be going for the third base. The Vikings take out the Warp Prism.
It's a lot of Vikings.
Nicely done. It's a lot, yeah. But we will see the double drop getting pushed back.
Yeah, that's 11 Vikings here for Oliveira. I mean, thankfully, it's not just about the Colossus, it's about the Phoenixes as well as the War Prism. So the Vikings, they have their role to play in this TVP. Meanwhile, we do push forward. Stasis Trap, ooh, still not connecting.
SMH ahead.
Oh my god.
It still doesn't.
Still does not. Vikings, they push on forward. Massive EMP on the army. Overcharge is going to be popped, but we cannot save the first Colossus.
No, we cannot, but we can save the other one, and we can push back the ground army. More and more Stalkers being warped in to take out the Vikings that are in the sky. Massive warp in on the other side of the map.
Yes,
Classic going to lose this fourth base again, but this army has to fight.
Yeah, we do kite well against a Colossus. Colossus does go down. Vikings, they do their job, but we save the expansion. SCVs are going down across the map. Worker damage is being dealt, and Classic is forcing this back.
We saved the expansion?
Yeah.
We saved the expansion. Oh, wow.
The base survives. 18 SCVs go down across the map, and a Classic, he takes a nice economic lead. On top of that, replacing those Colossus. Storm is done. We have plenty of High Templar, and Classic, he holds.
Okay, maybe Classic is more in that stats axis.
He can do both, Pap. He's crazy.
Yeah. He's neutral.
There you go, as he does
True
defend.
neutral.
I mean, Oliveira still has a decent army size. Like, he has a decent force to work with all these Vikings and with the bio army, of course, as well. But he is being outscaled as once again another Zealot Rabbi is poised to dive in.
Yeah, poised, but not quite jumping on it just yet. The initial Zealot dives in. Scouts said there's not a whole lot here, so he has to keep his eyes on other parts of the map, namely this natural base.
Yes, Classic is out of position. The natural base is going to be going down. Very nice pick off Robo as well. Oliveira, he is still in this. Has to respect the main army as it does rotate over, and Oliveira's going to have to try to get out of here. So far, massive EMP.
Yeah, not quite connecting with the High Templar, though. We do have storms that will chase back the bio army, but the damage has already been dealt. Natural base has already gone down, and the Colossus is so battered and bruised.
It really is. Classic going for a massive counterattack. The Zealot Rabbi did nothing across the map. Oliveira fighting back here, has the high ground, does maintain the ramp. Classic still has plenty of storms, but yeah, is still just consolidating his army, still unable to break through. EMPs! Oh!
And our EMPs will land on every single one of these High Templar. We have one storm getting thrown down, but that is not going to be enough to stem the tide of Oliveira.
That's massive. That was 7 High Templar, and every single one got EMP'd, and now there's no more storms. There's barely any splash damage.
Yeah, we see a desperate bid to morph them into Archons now and replace them with a couple of new High Templar. So Oliveira, he's getting back in this game. He has not quite been able to deny the forward base economy from Classic, but he himself is keeping up very, very well with 4 bases of his own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got mules, he's got his SCVs, like he has a comparable economy here to Classic, especially with the death of that natural base. Meanwhile, Classic pushing out once again. He does have some storms behind this, not as many as he once did, and the main army is spotted by Oliveira.
We'll see if he can nail those EMPs again, because if he can, this is going to be pretty done. One EMP lands on one High Templar, and the rest of them will get EMP'd as well, but not before the storms land. Oliveira kind of sitting in the storms, and is this gonna be too much for him?
I mean, those were insane storms. I mean, so much bio did go down. The Stork is a little bit distracted, so Classic's main army is fragmented. Oliveira can still take a fight, does land the Vikings. Up with the Concave.
Yeah, but the Concave is too good. The bio was overstimmed. GG is called. Classic takes game number 1.
GG, well played. That was a brutal storm, by the way. As you pointed out, the storm was juicy, and we stood in the storm as well. That was like a good third, if not more, of the bio army done then and there for Oliveira, and Lassie just didn't have enough to keep up and to hold on against the rest of the Protoss.
That he could not. Whew. And with that, yeah, Classic takes the lead in the series, up 1-0 in the best of 5. I still can't get over the fact that he saved his 4th when it was being battered down by all those stimmed Marauders, but he did.
He did. He did somehow save that 4th base, and with that, GG, well played. Classic. He survives the aggression of Oliveira, and he does end up counterattacking and snowballing out of control. That was still a very close game, though, and I want to believe that we can have a back and forth here.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that we will be seeing a lot more of a back and forth. I wouldn't be more surprised if this was... I would be more surprised if we didn't get the ace match than if we did.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be shocked if this was a 3-0. I'm hoping that we can get a series out of this. For now, we're going to be loading into Game 2. It's going to be loading into Site Delta.
Indeed, we are normal maps coming back. Looks like we had our fill on Amphion and Dynasty. But regardless, we are going to be continuing our best of 5 grand finals now on Site Delta. Over here in the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right, we of course have our blue Protoss player up 1-0 in this best of 5 grand finals. He is, of course, going to be representing his team, Twisted Minds. A fitting team. A very fitting team for this player. He is Classic.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, going for a proxy across the map, we have the Chinese Terran player, the Red Terran representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is Oliveira.
Well, I was going to say, if you recall the last time Oliveira was on Site Delta, we did see him go for that 2-base all-in where he pulled the boys, and it worked out really well for him, but this time he has something a little bit different planned.
Yeah, we'll see as we do have our proxy being set up. It is pretty primed for a proxy Reaper, I imagine. We could try to spice things up even further. If this was Gumiho, I'd be like, yo, we can like land into the main and go for the proxy Marauder. But that's merely a Gumiho trait. I don't really think Oliveira's want to do so. Otherwise, the racks will be closer to the main base.
Yeah. Could be a proxy tank.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on this SCV to see if we do go for the factory follow-up as well. We'll keep an eye on him. For now, the Reaper is in production. If this was a standard proxy Reaper, then this SCV should be going in for, say, a bunker behind the mineral line, so the Reaper could get even more damage done. For now, though, the SCV is kind of being kept back.
Yeah, we're waiting to see. Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say there we go to factory, but no, that's being built back at home.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like this is chilling here for a starport eventually, as we get the tech lab.
It's a one-base all-in. It's a one-base all-in here from Oliveira. Okay, so factories are back at home. Tech lab for Marauder production. I'm curious if we're going into a starport for proxy medevac for a drop into the main. We'll see how this all comes together as Marauder production has begun.
I was gonna say, yeah, you say Marauder production, I say swap the add-ons around for BCs, but it is just gonna be proxy Marauders and landed Marauders by the looks of things.
Yeah, factory is now done, so we're waiting for the starport. There it is, starport is on the way, and this should be for a medevacs for a Hellion drop into the main. 3 Hellions, 1-shot probes, and if they line up, Hellions can eviscerate a mineral line, so we'll see how this all does come together. As Oliveira has again, nothing back at home, no expansion, just all in.
Yeah, we'll see if Classic can scout this in time. Here's a question. You mentioned Gumiho does this a lot. Classic played against Gumiho in the quarterfinals.
True.
Do you think Gumiho did this?
No.
Oh.
This specifically, no, but like you're not wrong in the sense that Classic was able to keep up with the unorthodox nature of Gumiho, and because of that is, I'm sure, prepared for whatever is coming his way. But this is a wild one here. Here come the medevacs for the drop play. Hellions are amassing in the center of the map, and Classic still has not seen much at all. Classic has not even checked the natural.
I would make the slight difference to what you said. I think Classic is prepared for whatever he thinks is coming his way. I'm not sure if this specifically is on his mind. Classic going to throw down a forward pylon over there. A little bit of scouting, and potentially, if the game continues, he can try to get a proxy over there and counter proxy, but we'll see. That's a pretty big if.
Hellions are scouted, and our goal here is to catch the Stalkers. If we can catch the Stalkers, we can end the game, and here we go. The Rollers, they dive in!
They will completely box these Stalkers into a corner. They will get taken out, and now things are looking pretty hopeless for Classic.
Yeah, he has a full wall of no shield battery, no overcharge. The wall is about to be broken by the Marauders. Boys are being pulled in a moment of desperation. The wall, that's a kill, not a cancel, and we're breaking in.
Like so.
Yeah, more Stalkers have arrived, but again, the Marauders are doing so well against these Stalkers. There is no blink, there is no support. The Stalkers are falling one after the other. There's 2 Stalkers left.
And this is game.
Yeah, there's 1 Stalker remaining. It's going to be focused down. GG gets called, and Oliveira will fight back and tie up the series a 1-1.
GG. What a quick one. Classic, so passive throughout this game. Never scouting once on his opponent. I think he might have assumed that there was a proxy coming his way after he... No, I was gonna say I think he might have assumed that there was a proxy coming his way after he saw the factory, but he didn't see the factory.
Yeah,
he never even checked the natural.
Yeah, he never saw the natural base. That's why he was going for the proxy across the map, and by the time he realized what was going on, it was too little too late. So Oliveira punishing the greed there of Classical, punishing just the lack of scouting, the lack of checking, and with that, we're tied up 1-1.
We are tied up 1-1. Not quite an ace match, as this is a best of 5, but pretty close.
Oh yeah. is pretty close. And with that, we're going to be settling into game number 3. Who will take a lead in the series?
I will.
Take the lead, Pappy.
Oh. No. Alrighty then. We are going to be continuing our series now on El Guione, over here in the top right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top right. We have our blue Protoss player coming out from the land of Korea. We have the Chintoss himself, going to be representing Twisted Minds. He is classic.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. Oh, wait, let's go. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Chinese Terran player, the Red Terran, about to be proxied himself. Representing Weibo Gaming, it is Oliveira.
So two things. One, classic is just like, mate, I wanted to proxy you in that last game. I didn't get to. I'm going to proxy. I will have my proxy regardless. But also, two, do you think that after that last loss, Classic had some deja vu in his head where he's like, I thought Hero was gone. I thought I didn't have to ape it up, but now Hero's teammate is keeping that alive a little bit.
I feel like Oliveira has opened the door.
The Classic's brain.
Yeah, he's opened a door, and he said
Pandora's
that
box.
Exactly, like anything is on the table here, you know. And Classic's like, okay, you want to play like that, Papi? You want to cheese? You want to ape it up? Let's go. It's gonna be a proxy 2-gate across the map. Very aggressive opener here by Classic, going to be able to reinforce with initially Zealots, followed by Adepts as the Cyber Core is on the way. So this is going to slowly ramp up here for Classic, and ideally we would be seeing an expansion, and it looks like we will be seeing one. It is a single gas opener, so Oliveira is going for the CC on the low ground. This CC is going to be vulnerable.
Yeah, we'll see if he can hold it. Opts for the reactor after the initial Marine, so it's going to be pretty tough to say the least.
Yeah, as we will only have the single unit to defend with these two Zealots. We can, of course, take advantage of Oliveira. For now, there we go. Stalkers are on the way. Not Adepts going for the Stalker follow-up, chronoing them out as we speak, and it's going to be close to CC. It's still not halfway done, and here comes Classic.
Moving here with these Zealots. This is all going to come down to how well Oliveira can micro his SCV specifically. Classic actually not quite going for it just yet, waiting for his Stalkers to come in.
Yeah, there we go. The Stalkers have arrived, and now we will deny the expansion. The goal here is to force a cancel. If we can force a cancel, we can expand back at home and focus on the next step. The Marine already going to be targeted down. SCV will fall. Marine goes down as well. We have 2 Marines up with the bunker. It's not going to finish.
Not at all. This is a full wall that we've gotten out here. That was a kill on the bunker, not a cancel. And yet only 2 Marines left. Cyclone is on the way, but it's still quite a ways off. Supply depot will fall.
Yeah, that's a kill.
And that's supply blocking Oliveira.
Yeah, massive supply block here on Oliveira. We do have the Cyclone on the way, thankfully, but more reinforcements are on the way. Classic doesn't just cancel the base. He's going for the kill. He's going for the threat at this point, going for another depot. Further supply blocking Oliveira.
GG is called, and Classic, I hope he's satiated after that proxy, because if not, we're going to be getting into a very dark game number 4.
Telling you, Papi, I'm telling you. The gloves are off, the pants are down. We're about to get down and dirty here between these two players. Proxy into proxy, and now it's got to be Oliveira's turn, right?
You think they're just gonna take turns proxying, or do you think they're just gonna proxy each other in game 4? Because I feel Pandora's box has been opened. We can no longer contain it. The ape is out.
Let's go.
And especially because we're going into post-youth for game number 4. Here we go.
Post-youth here for game 4. A very, very unique map. Does have its own features, of course, with the in-base natural. On top of that, there's also the goal bases you can take advantage of. On top of that, there's also some pretty prime proxy locations towards the edges of the map as well. We'll see how we approach this. We'll see what kind of clannery we have.
You say clownery. I feel like it would be fitting for post-youth to be the map where our players This would be a pretty weird way of describing it, but become civilized, so to speak. They become more gentlemanly.
Are you saying that they
And
got it
just
out of their
decide, you know
system?
what?
You know, they both
Yeah.
just cheese and now they're done. You know, they're like,
Exactly.
okay, now we can calm down and now we can play out a game.
Exactly. They got it out, so yeah, now they don't have to anymore. But I say that, but I see a probe moving across the map immediately, so we'll see as we spawn into post-youth, where we're here in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way to the top right, but also going for around the map a little bit. We have our blue Protoss player coming out from the land of Korea, currently on match point in this best of 5 grand finals. He is, of course, going to be representing Twisted Minds. We have Classic Chatsik.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Terran player from land of China, representing Weibo Gaming. It is Oliveira. We're going to fight back. We're going to force that ace match. It looks like it's going to be an economic opener out of our Terran player. It's going to be a Rax Expand, to be expected on a map like Post-Youth, and the Classic does not go for any kind of crazy proxy. He scouts across the map for good reason. If you remember, we didn't even scout on side Delta, so Classic just making sure that everything's on the up and up.
Yeah, especially on Post-Youth. Well, I say that, but Post-Youth is a bit of a quirky map, but it's not really a map that lends itself particularly well to proxies or like early game aggression. It's more of a cheesy map in the sense of economic cheese, where you obviously both players are going to have this hybrid gold in their main, but at the same time, you know, we see it very commonly to go for the proper gold base very early on, and just try to outscale your opponent as quickly as possible.
Yeah, this is one of the most vetoed maps of the map pool, but because of the best of 5, we have limited vetoes, right? We have limited vetoes available, so we're able to embrace the TVP on Post-Youth, something that we don't often get to see, so I'm excited when it comes to how Classic approaches this. In the past, when it comes to maps with gold bases, Protoss players are typically the players that are able to get map control and take advantage of the gold a lot easier. I'm brought back to Royal Blood, for example, and some of these other maps a couple of seasons ago where
Blood. I remember that.
yeah, where like
Even
Hero
the
and Max
season
Packs,
Albione.
yeah, they would just take the gold bases as quickly as possible.
And the Battlestar Classic is not vying for that just yet. I mean, with the way Protoss expands on this map, it feels pretty much inevitable. If we do get into a mid game, Classic is most likely going to be eyeing that gold as his 4th base, but we'll see if we get there.
We shall see. As for now, we're settling in. We are getting our bases up and running. It's going to be a 1-1-1 follow-up here out of Oliveira. Looks like he's going to be setting up for a drop as well. This looks like a Widowmine into a Cyclone, but we'll see if we make additional Widowmines. Meanwhile, across the map, the Reaper also scouting, and will confirm the tech of choice, not a Twilight Council.
Yeah, going to be a Stargate coming out here from Classic, so again, pretty standard things. Gets the Reaper right at the end there. I feel your pain, Oliveira. You think it's safe, but it's just 1 pixel within range of the Adept.
Yeah, the Reaper does get shut down. Meanwhile, it's going to be first Widowmine into a second Widowmine. Okay, so we have a Mine Drop setup here from Oliveira. At the same time, though, there are Phoenixes amassing from Classic, and this looks like the beginnings of, as you mentioned, a bit of a more prim and proper setup here for Phoenix Colossus for a macro game.
Yeah, a more gentlemanly TVP. A more civilized game.
Yeah.
Or a more elegant game for a more civilized map.
There you go. So with that, Classic is preparing for what looks to be Phoenix Colossus. If you remember, if Classic ever does get his third base up and running and works towards a 4th, with this kind of setup, we are also primed to rush into Sky Toss, which Classic is one to do if given the freedom to do so.
Yeah, we'll see if we do get to that point. This drop has been completely missed by the Phoenix of Classic.
It has been missed. The Widowmines are kept back at home. The Widowmines are actually staying here in the mineral lines to shut down any kind of harassment. At the same time, the drop moving out across the map. Ooh, is spotted as well.
I just realized there are 2 Ewoks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're on the ground.
There are 2 on the ground?
Yeah.
There are 2 on the ground. I was pointing out to the above the goal. There's 1, and then there's 2.
Yeah.
One of them playing drums.
I mean, they're both kind of playing drums, yeah.
Bashing. Yeah.
Oh, my God. I mean, hey, we said it before. They went full Return of the Jedi and they brought down a Banshee, mate.
They did.
I don't know how they did, but they did.
And then they ate the Banshee pilot.
Oh God. Calm down. Meanwhile, the Observer does hold the move out. Ooh, gonna be a little bit committed here. 5 SCVs are pulled with this push. We have 2 tanks, we have our Widow Mines, we have quite a setup here, and Classic is getting ready.
Indeed, he is. He did go for the earlier Robo base, so he will be getting his Colossus out, which absolutely has potential to just shut down this push. He also has his Phoenixes, which can absolutely shut down the tanks. The tank will get taken out while it's sieging up. And Oliveira only has 1 tank to really work with. That's still all right, but definitely not ideal.
Yeah, every time it's going to be popped. Oh, Mind Shot does connect, but here comes that Colossus. And as you mentioned, with the power of the Colossus, we can force back the army. Liberator has arrived. The tank does siege, but out of range of the shield batteries.
Yeah, the Liberator has arrived, but we have Phoenixes in the air.
And we do
this
have
Viking has a lot of heavy lifting to do.
Yeah, at the same time, Oliveira dropping into the main, catching Classic out of position. Phoenixes will try to catch reinforcements to do go for the unsiege, and we do deny mining at least in the main.
He's going to be coming back home. Phoenix had tried to deny this medevac, but hot drop, or cold drop. It's the opposite of the hot pickup.
Yeah, bearing in mind
of Marines will chase us down.
Yeah, there is no stim. So without stim, we shut down the medevac. We're going for the Liberator as well, and Oliveira is bleeding out quite a bit here. Does have his tank sieged up, and Classic does not take the bait. Classic backs off.
Like so. When it's all said and done, that drop, that push didn't actually do anything, really. It killed a Immortal, I believe? No, it killed 1 probe and 3 adepts. I swear I thought a pylon or something went down at the very least in this, but no, it did not. This is in a very strong start for Classic.
Oh yeah, Classic, he's looking pretty solid here. He's on a 3 weeks economy. He's got Colossus out as well. Oliveira may have to just go for an all-in. We'll see over the next couple of seconds if we throw down a 3rd CC. If we don't see a 3rd, then we may as well just pull the boys and send it across the map. Classic is in the midst of all this, taking up 4th base while Oliveira's still on 2 bases, and he pulls the boys.
Huge risk, but we'll see if it pays off for him here. Classic does not have eyes on the army. Oh, now he will, though. Now he will.
The Observer saw the move out as well, so the Phoenixes, they dive in, they catch reinforcements. Classic's getting ready. I would hope that Classic cancels the 4th base. This 4th is so greedy, and I don't think we can save it. For now, it is still on the way, and the army is not stopping. We're pushing in.
Indeed, we are. Yeah, I think this 4th base is going to have to be forfeit, but everything else apart from this 4th is just so solid right now for Classic.
Yeah.
We do cancel that 4th, and now, yeah, things are looking pretty good for Classic.
Yeah, we throw down a line of turrets. They're not going to finish. The turret's going to be shut down. Tanks do siege. Charge is not yet done, by the way. We still have to wait a couple of seconds before that can really kick in. Phoenix is still catching reinforcements. And Oliveira, what you see is what you get. He has to end the game with this army.
He does. He's being very patient with his push, and he is on a bit of a timer, but I definitely appreciate that he's not just sending everything forward, not just stimming in.
Yeah, he's not just aping on forward here, slowly encroaching with turrets with these bunkers as well. Shield batteries are being knocked down as we speak. We knocked down 2 shield batteries, not too bad, but we have 3 Colossus, and Charge is now done. We even have a Disruptor. Oh.
We'll see if we can... Oh, it does get a tank. We don't have Storm just yet, but High Templar did get morphed in, and now we have a couple of Archons to soak up a couple of shots from these tanks.
Yeah, we collapse on 4. We pop the overcharge. 1 Colossus is going to be going down, but down falls that Liberator. We get on top of the tanks, and the tanks, they're falling one after the other.
GGW is called, and Classic is going to defend his title, is going to be taking that series 3-1, becoming an ESL Open Cup Asia number 236 champion. That was a brutal final game.
GG, well played. Classic, he was able to shut down the initial push, get into his own soon-to-be 4-base setup, and what was important, more importantly really for Classic, about both move-outs from Oliveira is Classic saw everything. He saw everything with the Observer and with his Phoenixes. He saw the first push and the second push as well that allowed him to be ready with shield batteries, with his army, with his overcharge, with his Phoenixes. He saw everything he needed to.
Yeah, he really learned his lesson after Site Delta.
True.
Which really, it could have been a 3-0, which, to be honest, this 3-1 is still pretty surprising to me, but it could have been a 3-0 if Classic just scouted on Site Delta.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, could have been.
Classic's in form, and he's in shape.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why he is our back-to-back champion last week and this week as well. Classic, he is primed and ready for EWC.
Absolutely, and I mean, I get the feeling that Classic is really, really extra focused on EWC as well, just because it does seem like he underperformed in the last 2 Premier tournaments that he was in. DreamHack Dallas, obviously, he was knocked out before the playoffs by Oliveira, I believe it was, and of course, unfortunately, wasn't able to qualify for GSL Season 2 either. So. Yeah, after all of that, Classic has just had so much time to just prepare entirely on the World Championship, and I'm not gonna lie, like, a couple of people have been posting their tier lists, and Classic was kind of in the B or the A, where it's like, yeah, he could win, but he's not gonna be, but he's by no means a favorite going into it when you have players like Maru, like Serral, and like Dark going into it. After tonight's showing, I think he's gonna have to be bumped up a tier.
Man, who are these people with these tier lists with Classic as B? What? So, yeah, I agree. Like, I mean, Classic, he's an amazing player, and he is primed to make a deep run, as he did even in the previous Gamers 8 last year, if you remember. Like, Classic, he even outperformed Hero in Gamers 8.
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he was the highest performing Protoss player at that tournament. So, yeah, I do look forward to his showcase in EWC. I will say that even though we haven't seen Hero for the past couple of weeks, he's been cooking, he's been busy, and
he's a wild card.
Yeah, I do think that Hero, I do rate him a little bit higher, but like Classic is still, you know, the number 2 Protoss in Korea and one of the best, if not arguably like top 3 Protoss in the world. So, yeah, Classic is definitely one to keep an eye out for, and look forward to at Esports World Cup.
Absolutely. He got really close the last time he was in a... The last time people kind of were underestimating him. I'm thinking of course, BlizzCon 2019, where they looked at the bracket and they looked at the opponents and they thought, well, there's no way Classic is going to beat Rogue. And then he did.
Yeah. There you go.
Didn't quite win, didn't quite make it all the way to the finals, but you know, outperformed a lot of expectations, which it's just Classic in a nutshell, right? Just somebody who, when eyes are on him, he underperforms, but when everybody's counting him out, he overperforms massively.
Yeah, always doing the unexpected. And with that, GG, well played. Of course, he's this week's ESL Open Cup Asia champion. And we'll see if that reign continues week after week after week. So far, 2 weeks in a row. We'll keep an eye on Classic. Meanwhile, shout out to Oliveira for making it to the top 2. A shout out to Trap earlier today. I don't want to, you know, don't want to gloss over him, but Trap, he popped off earlier with his PvZ, taking down Shin and Dark. Like, you don't get much better than that.
2-0, mind you.
Yeah. There's even a world out there where he takes down Oliveira. Like the Oliveira series, if you remember, that was maybe the highlight of the night. Yeah, like Classic was looking dominant here, but when it comes to like back and forth, like Trap versus Oliveira, like that was some peak StarCraft.
Oh yeah, especially that game number 1, where Trap just clutched out victory from the jaws of defeat. Game number 2 was a little bit rough, but then game number 3 was also very, very close. Did go Oliveira's favor in the end there, but yeah, that was a very impressive showing that we've had tonight from Trap. I'm sure Gemini out there, he is smiling, he's beaming ear to ear, and he doesn't even know why.
Yeah, he's a happy boy. He's Gemini, he's on cloud 9 right now, and yeah, if you're a Trap fan out there, I mean, things looking good. Things definitely do bode well for Trap in his return from the military. But with that, hope you all enjoyed yourselves. That does wrap up our broadcast for the evening. And yeah, if you want some more StarCraft, we're going to be back tomorrow with ESL Open Cup Americas. That is going to be in 12 hours time. So we got you covered there. And likewise, Yaku, thank you so much for joining me here tonight.
Yeah, it was a pretty good tournament. A pretty short one, actually.
Hmm.
Just about approaching 3.5 hours, which is shorter than it normally is, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I got
What can you do? Very smooth process. Very smooth process, I guess.
Yeah,
Is what we had.
exactly. From one into the other, into the other. Very little downtime between our matches,
Mhm.
and again, we barely even had to wait for Australia versus Classic to finish up as well. And yeah, with that, again, it's just a really good kind of way to get a read on the state of play for all these players coming into the Esports World Cup. Is quite important to kind of get a gauge for how they're looking, and yeah, we'll keep an eye on them even more in the upcoming weeks.
Indeed, we shall. Oh boy.
Boy. With that, Yaku, do you have anything you want to say before we head off for the night?
I do.
Oh.
I want to throw out a massive funara to Australian internet for depriving us of Light's chest this week.
Yeah, for those who are unaware, the cameras aren't on right now because frames are dropping. I don't know what it is. There's an issue that I have right now where if I ever have cams on in Discord, like my OBS like crashes a little bit and it struggles. So yeah, I don't know why. It's weird. It's fine when I'm solo casting, but it's not fine when I'm with you, Yaku. It might be routing related.
Am I the problem?
Yeah.
Am I disrupting it? Oh.
It might be routing related
I bring the
on
EMP.
the Discord server. I don't know. Something I have to look into it. Something's wrong. Something's wrong with Discord.
Oh. It's just the EMP that I bring.
True. But with that, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. You can follow us on all the social medias: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. Follow us if you want to be notified when we go live. Likewise, you can support us on Patreon. And a big shout out to Sirius Black in the chat for resubscribing. Resubscribing on Twitch for 4 months. Gracias, papi. Thank you so much for resubscribing. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. And again, Patreon is the place to be if you want to support us even further monetarily when it comes to our tournaments. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow for ESL Americas.
Indeed, we shall. See you then.
See you then.